Hello viewers, or welcome to more Project Cars VR action on the HTC Vive. One of my first races, or this is my first race on the VR, and just wanted to share this. I'm looking around my cockpit, using the one camera from the left eye, hence perspective might be a little bit off for you guys, but I assure you it's not when you're in there. And absolutely brilliant. You're looking around, the track feels wider. The car understeers a bit more. It all feels much more intense. The resolution isn't great in the distance, but that's okay. As you can see, it's not necessarily affecting the driving a great deal on this particular car and track combination. Now, I use this car and track because this is the default car and track from Project Cars. It's what I used all my practice videos on when the game was being made. One of the first tracks released for it, and it's still one that I like to come back to in terms of seeing how things develop. Now here, great feeling of speed. I feel the car is understeering quite a bit, so I'm not quite able to put the car exactly where I want it at the moment. It took a bit of getting used to the VR world, and also I don't know if I had in this video, but I moved the seat around a bit. I still need to move the seat around in terms of the view position to get it just right where I want it in the car. But either way, you know, you feel like you're leaning back, you feel like that's your body in front of you, you know, your feet are pressing the pedals, your arms are moving around. It's all very detailed and it all really looks the part. I think a bit more frame rate for me, it's not quite where it needs to be, would have made a huge difference in terms of the experience. But either way, you're in there and you've got these big full-scale cars around you. On the one hand, I've been a bit spoiled because I've had that for quite a while with my triple screens. It's all been full size, but there is something about the sort of claustrophobic nature of a racing cockpit that you get a lot more now. You've got this cockpit. I mean, the sides of that cockpit are here. You know, they're right at the sides of my head. You know, I'm looking around and I've just got the cockpit there. Feels much more authentic. So, working my way in, then trying to get back into the flow of it here. You can see me, of course, in the bottom corner, trying with the headset on. That's live as I'm working my way around. It is so strange, isn't it? There you are, blindfolded while playing this racing game, essentially from the real world. And it seems very strange when you look back at it afterwards. You know, because when you're in there, you're locked in. You know, you've got these goggles, you've got that perfect helmet view with the sponge around you. You've got your headphones on, you're completely isolated from the outside world. I didn't have the butt kicker turned on for this one. I should have. That would be the next bit of immersion. But either way, it worked really well. And as you'll have seen in the first Project Cars VR video, after this I went on and tested out a load of different cars and to see how they'd run, to see what I could get out of the system. But either way, GTX 780 running here, very challenging for the card. I would say that this game is not recommended for the GTX 780. It did judder quite a bit, and it does make you feel a bit rough at times if you're trying to push a hard game like this. So when it comes to the room scale VR, everything runs perfectly. I've had no problems at all, but obviously this wasn't made for VR. This was made for a screen gaming experience in the past. So they've adapted it very well. Also, the 3D element feels good. The car has a real 3D where it feels separate to the outside. So you don't just feel there's the car around you. It's almost a 3D object compared to the solid world. Again, just very impressive. And I think there was one stage in one video where someone mentioned the other day about the racing drivers going into a brace position when they were going to crash. I did a similar thing actually the other day. I just, whoa, you know, something happened and it was like so sort of in your face. You literally did feel that wall was coming towards you. It's surprising how your reactions take hold. And I guess that's something that just tells you how much more real this experience is than anything we've experienced before. So we're getting closer all the time. You know, as handling improves and graphics improve and resolution improves, my goodness, you know, in a few years' time, you'll be able to replicate that experience of being in a racing car and being on those circuits. And you know, to an extent you already can, but it's just going to get so much more visceral, so much more real in the future. And when I look back 20 years at what we had in the past, and I look at the awful 2D driving games we were playing to try and imagine we were Nigel Mansell, Alain Prost, and Senna racing each other. You know, you wanted to imagine what it was like to be in those cars, and when we first played Virtua Racing, it was amazing. It was mind-blowing being in the car in that way. You know, first seeing Ridge Racer and texture mapping. We didn't know what texture mapping was, a new thing, putting textures on polygons. And now you're years down the line and you have all kinds of lighting and textures and anti-aliasing and so many filtering systems that improve the visual level to the textures and everything that we have today. It really is an amazing step forward, and you know, pretty much simulating, as I'm just noticing that guy there to my side, pretty much simulating what it is. I'm just trying to give him space, a little bit concerned, but I can see him in the mirrors there. That's one thing as well, is the mirrors in the VR are much more effective now than they were, I found, in game normally. I don't know why, but I think it's just to do with your head movement. You know, you're driving and you're seeing the mirror much more effectively out the corner of your eyes because you're part of that cockpit now. Also, it should be noted anyway that Project Cars has never been fully optimised using triple screens, so in that sense there's always been a bit of a stretched aspect to them. So working my way around now, I've no idea actually how many laps there are to go. As you can see, I had no HUD, so I had nothing. Also, I didn't know what gear I was in half the time, because there's no, I don't think is there a gear? Oh, there is on this car. There's another car, there was no gear indicator on it, so it was a bit of a pain if they didn't have one on the car. And obviously I've put the wheel and the driver back, because I normally race without the wheel when I'm using my screens, because I use my actual wheel. So trying to close on this guy, getting better every lap. You know, you're seeing that every lap I'm getting on the power a bit quicker, and you know, understanding my lines a bit more. So it's just a matter of experience. But every car I got into, I felt I was I was understeering straight away. I wasn't quite getting my turning right. But after a little bit of experience using each car, I found I was getting the hang of it more and more, and just finding that bit of consistency again, and trying to move up through the ranks. But just really good fun. Just really good fun gaining on these guys and just experiencing a little bit of the future. So if you have any questions, do let me know. I'll try to answer those in future videos. If there's any car track combination you'd like to see, do let me know. If my PC can run it, I'll attempt to run it. If not, I'll wait until I upgrade the PC, and I do hope to upgrade it soon, very soon. Hopefully, we'll wait and see, but I would like to upgrade the graphics. If I can get a 1080, that would be lovely, but I don't know if I can afford that right now, but we'll wait and see. But either way, it's been a good run, and
trying to get a good run from the last corner. Slipstream
just trying to find a way past this guy, using all the curbs. Easier to do in a game than in real life, I tell you, but I don't, because there's no risk, is there? You can just throw the car in there. But that's it from me for now. I'm going to leave you with this bit of racing to finish off, and there'll be more from me very soon.